joined us, so I think we have everybody, and we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 12 minutes after 2. Can I please get a roll call?
Of course, Madam Chair. Commissioner Henry Roybal.
Here.
Commissioner Anna Hansen.
Present.
Commissioner Hank Hughes.
Present.
Commissioner Rudy Garcia.
Here.
And Chair Anna Hamilton.
I'm here. So that would take us to approval of the agenda. Are there any changes, or what's the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. So I have a motion in multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So that takes us to item 2, which are miscellaneous action items concerning flooding within Santa Fe County. 2A is a resolution declaring an emergency due to flooding. And I believe we have on WebEx our Assistant Chief Martin Vigil.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is County Manager Greg Schaefer speaking. And before we go through the individual action items, I just wanted to set the stage for this special meeting and the items to come. Obviously, the ongoing monsoonal rains, while a relief in many respects, have raised the specter of flooding throughout Santa Fe County and throughout the state, in particular in the area of Rio and Medio. I believe that these rains are exposing the limits of non-county, mostly private infrastructure in terms of the capacity to deal with the level of precipitation that we're receiving, especially along the burn scar in the Rio and Medio area. Some of the damage that has been occurring, whether it's county open space or on non-county maintained private roads, will take some time and not insignificant amounts of resources, as well as coordination amongst various entities to remediate in a way that's built to last, so to speak. The items that you're going to hear are useful things for the county to do, but I want to also be clear on the front end in terms of the road ahead and managing expectations in terms of the fact that these aren't silver bullets. It doesn't suddenly materialize millions of dollars for repair of private infrastructure or private property, but they are, as the individual presenters will put forward, things that we can do to help assist in some areas, albeit limited areas that are within our control. So with that, by way of a very high-level overview, I'll turn over item 2A to Assistant Chief Vigil, and then also in attendance is Assistant County Attorney Cristela Valdez, who worked with him on this resolution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Excellent. Thank you, Manager Schaefer. Welcome, Chief Vigil. Chief Vigil, if you're actually speaking, you might be muted. I'm not getting you coming through yet.
How was that?
That's good. Now
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. We've been engaged in the community of Rio Medio since the first significant burn scar flooding on July 26th in the evening. Since then to date, we've noted 7 floods that are related to storms either above Rio Medio or even higher up in the watershed. The community has experienced significant debris flows, pretty large debris from the burn scar, but also a lot of trees and culverts have been directly damaged downstream. We've engaged, I believe, about 22 members of families that live along the river. And we have been working right from the beginning with the state, the Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and their processes to try and do a state and federal declarations regarding flooding throughout New Mexico. And we've all seen some of the images from all regions of New Mexico. The one thing that seems to be a common theme is at all levels of government, we've encountered really limited resources to deploy, particularly in regards to private property. But there just seems to be a very lack of deployable teams with some of the skill sets that we really need up in that canyon. So the resolution bringing forward is to help solidify that process that we've already started with the state and get Santa Fe County entered as a jurisdiction with an official declaration so that we can be included in the much larger state capture of damages. And I'll stand for any questions.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Chief Vigil. So, Commissioners, are there any questions? And just as a note, for anybody online, if you could just unmute yourself and let me know, because I can't actually see you to call on you. So I know Commissioner Hanson had her hand up.
I have my hand up also, Commissioner, Madam Chair.
Okay, so I'll come to you next. Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Hanson. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, County Manager. Thank you, Chief Vigil. So once again, this resolution is going to be passed on to the governor's office, and if she approves it, then we actually can proceed forward with the resolution, correct?
So my understanding is this will be moved towards the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management to be included in a much broader capture of other counties, and then I believe they'll prepare an actual state declaration that then I would hope moves in the direction of a federal declaration.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So if the governor doesn't approve any resolution or anything to the state, then that we actually cannot act on this?
That I'm not sure the answer. I think we already have a placeholder, Commissioner Garcia, in the process, and I think this, if approved, will help solidify our position as a county in the bigger process.
Thank you, Chief Vigil. Manager Schaefer, can you answer the question? If the governor does not approve Santa Fe County for whatever reason, so do we still proceed forward or do we not?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Garcia, I think there are certain things that passing the resolution authorizes to happen at the local level, but they're limited in scope. It does provide some authority for me to help deploy resources in the event that they're needed to respond to county infrastructure and the like, or otherwise render emergency aid. And then finally, declaration of this emergency would potentially allow us, under certain circumstances, to assist with maintenance of non-county maintained roads. So there are certain aspects that would go forward just by based upon the passage of the resolution. In terms of larger dollar amounts and those that could potentially be utilized to improve private infrastructure and property, as well as potentially make available, other resources from the National Guard, what have you. Those aspects would be dependent upon action by the governor and or the federal government. So I hope that answered your question, but the short answer is parts we can do on our own, but the bigger parts and the parts that will be of more significant consequence to private property owners are dependent upon the actions of others. I hope that answers your question.
Madam Chair, yes, Senator Schaefer. Another question that I have is so if we actually have some additional funding or additional flooding in, let's just say La Cienega, Edgewood, does this resolution allow us to go assist those property owners as well?
Commissioner Garcia, I believe the language in the resolution was to include the entire county.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Chief. Also, so it is all sent in. How long is this resolution in effect for?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Garcia, it doesn't have an end date. It's declaring the existence of an emergency. So it does not have a specific end date.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Garcia, I know Attorney Valdez has just come to the microphone, so she might have information to add to your question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Garcia, to further answer your question regarding whether if the resolution is not passed today, whether the governor would be able to take any additional action without the county's action, it's a prerequisite of state statute in the All Hazard Emergency Management Act for the governing body by majority to make a request to the governor for a declaration at the state level of an emergency.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. The questions that I have is, I think this is definitely needed for the individuals that are getting flooded out on their private properties and one of the reasons I asked for how long is the resolution is because how is our maintenance crew how is it gonna affect other parts of the county? Because we're already short-staffed in that maintenance crew. There's a lot of maintenance weeds that need to be cut in certain areas. They're already going over the county roads. People are having to swerve into each other. So our maintenance department is gonna be up there, what, a month, 2 months, 3 months? Or how does it affect the other parts of the county?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Garcia, Public Works Department Director Harron can provide some additional detail relative to the strain that the flooding is putting onto our own crews as it relates to the continued maintenance and operation of county roads. As a practical matter, you've put a finger on, a limitation on the county's ability to assist relative to non-county maintained roads, even if the other criteria were met. The reality is that, we are short-staffed and have limited ability to do so, even if the other conditions were met. So our focus is on, county maintained roads and ensuring their continued maintenance and usability. But I'll let Public Works Department Director Harron speak to that as well.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, Commissioner Garcia, our present responsibilities are that we are responding to the needs of the citizens as they're reported with work orders. And we have seen a serious uptick in the number of work orders related to weather events, to flooding, to clogged culverts. And our crews are out there remembering that we are at about 50% staff in our roads crew. So as we move forward, if the situation worsens, we would have a conversation with County Manager Schaefer about maybe contracting to help us with some of the work if there is additional flooding. But up until now, we are managing that effectively. And I will tell you, kudos to the road crews. They're out there paving roads too. They're on their third road in the past week. So work continues, and we're just managing all of the work orders as best as we can, knowing that that's our responsibility.
Madam Chair, I understand where we're at. One of the things I see the city of Santa Fe doing, and we do have some, I'm sure, money in the maintenance department, so why can't we not contract this on another note in regard to flooding, contract out for weed cutting or tree trimming in different areas of the county? So there's definitely, we can contract that, but I hope you would all look into that. And those are the only questions that I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Commissioner Hanson and then Commissioner Roybal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I see in this resolution, it says private property throughout the county, including La Cienega, El Dorado, Pojoaque, Edgewood, and El Rancho. Is that meaning that it's limited to that area? I heard earlier that it was countywide because I do have a lot of neighborhoods north of 599 that have gotten flooded in the past. So I wanted to make sure that this is countywide.
Yes, Attorney Valdez.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Hanson, the impact of the resolution is to declare emergency countywide.
Okay, thank you. That's really all I was concerned about. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Roybal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank staff for bringing this forward and working with myself and constituents throughout the county in regards to this issue that we're having right now with these rain events. And I just want to express my appreciation for bringing this forward so we can see as a county how we can help our constituents with the issues that are coming from these from the results of this rainstorms that we're having this year, and also even the fires. So I just want to thank them for bringing this forward and thinking outside the box. And I think that it's something that'll be really appreciated by our constituents. And that was it, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see Commissioner Hughes just came on camera. Did you have some questions, Commissioner Hughes?
No, I was just clearing my throat. I think this is a great idea. I'm all for it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if there's not any other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Excellent. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you. Thank you very much for bringing this forward, Commissioner Roybal and Chief Vigil. That takes us to item 2B, which is a resolution authorizing the disposal of specified solid waste without paying service fees to assist with flooding-related cleanup. And we have Director Huron for this one.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
may I insert a resolution number?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Item 2A is resolution number 2022-064.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Deputy
course.
Clerk. So now we can go to Director Huron.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, we bring this issue before you. It's approval of the free disposal of solid waste for county residents with permits at all Santa Fe County convenience centers on August 26th, 27th, September 3rd, 2nd and 3rd, 2022, and at a temporary collection site located at Rio and Medio Community Center on August 29th and September 7th. In an effort to provide, and I will say that I am talking about this issue, but Esteban Sanchez from the City Attorney's Office, County Attorney's Office, is here to answer any questions regarding the resolution or anything else. In an effort to provide assistance to Santa Fe County residents as they attempt to clean debris and trash from the recent countywide flooding, Public Works proposes to allow for free dumping of solid waste at all Santa Fe County convenience centers. This resolution seeks approval for the free disposal of solid waste for county residents with unused punches on permits at all Santa Fe County convenience centers. Bag tags are not allowed as a way to get free trash dropped off. And at a temporary emergency collection site as specified below. 2 additional free disposal days may be authorized on September 9th and 10th should the county manager determine that additional flooding occurred on or after September 3rd, 2022. Free disposal of solid waste days is authorized by Ordinance 2022-04, amending the Solid Waste and Recycling Management Ordinance to clarify when service fees are required and authorizing free solid waste disposal days by resolution. So, to be clear, for the months of August and September, the free solid waste days at all of the collection centers in the county will be August 26th, 27th, and September 2nd and 3rd. And then in an effort to assist with cleanup in the northern part of the county, especially in Rio and Medio, related to flood debris, that can only be disposed of at the Rio and Medio Community Center on the following dates, September 29th and September 7th. We will set up 2 roll-off bins in the parking lot there. We will have a front-end loader and 2 staff there, and we will assist folks in loading their trash into the roll-offs.
Director Huron, was that August 29th and September 7th?
August 29th and September 7th.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And as part of the resolution that we brought to you, because it is flood-related debris, I also included in the memo, and we included in the resolution, the items that are prohibited to be dropped off, because with flooding you get a lot of miscellaneous items. So I'm going to go through the list just to be clear so that the community understands. Prohibited materials include ammunition, animal waste, asbestos waste, automobiles, large automobile parts, lead-acid batteries, any automobile part containing fluids or liquids, gasoline tanks. It does not include tire rims that have been removed from tires. Tires with tire rims will not be accepted. Clean fill, construction and demolition debris, dead animals, explosives, hazardous waste, hot waste and ashes, industrial waste, infectious waste, intact bulk containers, lead-acid batteries, liquids including sewage, septage, and large quantities of frying fats, petroleum or chemically contaminated soils, pressurized cylinders, radioactive waste, sewage, septage, and holding tank pumpings, sludge, and any other item as specified by federal, state, or local law and regulations as determined by the county manager. So that with this resolution, we are asking consideration and approval for allowing the free disposal of solid waste for county residents at convenience centers as specified, and then at the temporary site at Rio and Medio Community Center. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you. So I actually have an immediate question. What kind of waste are you expecting as a result of flooding? I mean, if people's houses were flooded and for instance, they had to take down drywall, how will you differentiate between that and construction waste?
Madam Chair, they will have to have the conversation with the convenience center folks about what can be accepted and not, because some of the stuff is not acceptable for us to dump. So the prohibitions will remain in place, and they will have to, we will help them to locate a place to be able to dump those materials.
So what kinds of materials do you expect to see as a...
Regular trash, debris, trees, all of that stuff, plastics, containers, the stuff that comes down with floods. But at the free solid waste days for the convenience centers, it really is going to be any waste that people bring to those convenience centers as they typically would.
Okay, it's not fully what I expected. I understand many of the things, ammunition, hot materials, asbestos, hazardous waste. It's actually the construction debris that, and I think there was one other thing related to that that really surprised me, because if it just seems like much of that stuff might be part of cleanup from a flood, so.
Madam Chair, I will tell you that if we have a lot of occasions with that, that we will help those community members to problem solve and find solutions for them.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I'm sorry, so are there other questions, commissioners?
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that's very true, because, you know, if there's some flooding damage, they would need to remove sheetrock in order to keep mold from happening or anything
right.
else. So, I appreciate the fact, too, as Director Huron mentioned, that he'll work with our constituents to find a resolution for that, so I appreciate that. You know, and I just want to thank our staff, you know, for being out there and working with our constituents and addressing their needs. I mean, now is a time where our constituents don't really know where they can turn, so I really appreciate all the hard work from our staff. Thank you for working with them.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Commissioner.
And if there's
Absolutely.
not any other questions, you know, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
please do, and then I
Second.
always ask.
Second.
So I have, before you could even get it out, I have a motion and a second. Under discussion, are there any questions from other commissioners? Hearing none, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you. And I really do want to second the thanks for going to the efforts of doing this for the constituents. I think this is a very valuable thing to have done.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. And I guess I'm ready for a resolution number.
And I am happy to provide one, Madam Chair. Item 2B is resolution number 2022-065.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Deputy Clerk. So that takes us to concluding business. Are there any announcements? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chair,
Yes.
I move to adjourn.
Excellent. Thank you.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Not entertaining any opposition. Okay, thank you very, very much for everybody who participated in this special meeting and for the information.
Thank you.